Yes, can one of you unmute and share what are the concepts that we have seen yesterday? Anyone? Yeah, we started introducing the data science. What is data science? Especially the 8 steps. Then cleaning of data, finding of missing values. But is there any missing values? Is there any duplicates? All right. And then we started with grouping functions, right? By merging and merge and join function. We have to start with concatenate today. What are the other concepts we have seen yesterday? What about others? Feel free to unmute and also to speak. Yes? We started working with Colab. We learned how to import data sets. What was the data set that we imported last class? What was the data set? You are all there, or you started the session and you just left doing your own work?
No, ma'am, we are here.
What was the data set we worked yesterday? Nobody remembers? Yeah, Ajita ma'am says, rightly said. Yes, we started working with a tips data set, right? The tips data set, right? So from from Seaborn, we imported 2 packages. Hope my screen is clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. SMS dot get underscore data set name soft. You get the entire set of data sets that are available inside Seedborn. In this, we have taken tips data set. So I've given df.sns.load data set of tips. So the head of, I explained you about the data set, the bill, the gender who paid, what was the tips given, was there a smoker, or which date, or which time, or which size. Size means how many people, right? And we saw about the attributes of df.shape and df.size. There are still more different attributes. Let's complete the attributes now before moving on to the session. Okay, before the next topic that we go about with. Okay, I hope everybody open Colab either in a mobile or in your PCs. Once you opened it, post it onto the chat as opened or done. Open Colab and run the, yeah, thank you, Saranya ma'am. Open Colab and again run import because it is an interpreted language. You need to rerun it again. Run it and come to this session too. Loading your tips data set, then head of function and shape and size, you just run it through. Okay. Like you have different methods like, there are 2 things, attributes and functions. The shape of, the size of. If I want to know about the columns, I've given df.columns of. Okay. If I want to know the axis, okay. So how many axes here? We have the x and the y axis. X axis specifies the number of rows. How many number of rows we have? 255. So it is numbering between 0 to 244. All right. And on to the next axis, y axis, we have total bill, tips, gender, smoker, day, time, and size. All right. And Also, how many dimension? Ending. These are attributes. So, how many dimensions for this data set? You have got 2 dimensions. Say, for example, if you're going to work with the multidimensional array data sets, right? So, we'll be moving on into finding out the number of dimensions will be more. The number of dimensions will be more. Tri-axis end time. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay, the type of the data frame. I will try df.access and df.endin. Type on the chat as done. If you have done, just type D also. That is also okay. I'm getting only strong responses from Saramya ma'am and Prabhu sir. Out of 60, excluding me, out of 60, only 2 out of 60 are responding. What about others? Yes, thank you, Kumari ma'am. Newton Kumari ma'am. Okay, axis. How many axes? Dimensions. How many dimensions we have? And columns we have seen, right? We have seen the different columns, right? These are the different attributes, right? Whenever it is open and close parenthesis, then it is a function, right? Type of data frame, the type of values inside my pandas is data frame. But see, if I'm going to type the next parameter, what happened? Okay. If I want to know the data types of each column, right? If I want to know df dot d types, df dot d types, okay, df dot d types. Try this. And also df dot values. Listen carefully now. When I load any data set and load into pandas, the type of the data frame is the type of the data is data frame. But the values inside my data frame, I repeat it, the values inside my data frame, it is of type numpy array. See, I'm going to print type of df. What would be my type of df? Can one of you say? What would be my type of df? What would be my type of df? The type of my data frame would be is the type of my, once I load any data into my pandas, the type of the data is data frame, but the values inside my data frame is of type numpy array. The values inside my data frame, it's of type numpy array. Able to understand? Able to understand? Yes, no? So now let me know what are the attributes that we have seen. What are the attributes? What are the attributes that we have seen? Have you tried df dot d types? What this does, df dot t, can one of you say? Df dot t, what it does? What it does? What it does? You're able to hear me or you're not responding? What does this df dot t does? Can any one of you say, please? Otherwise, it will be like I am only speaking to my computer. It does the transpose. It does the transpose. Right? It transpose from rows to columns and columns to row. If I'm generally going to have df, it will be like this. Thank you, Prabhu. And df, if you want to transpose data, then you can do like. So what are the methods, what are the attributes that we have seen in pandas? The first we started with size, attribute 1, attribute 2 shape, and then axis attribute 3, and dimensional attribute 4, values attribute 5, d types attribute 6, columns attribute 7, and transpose attribute 8, and also you have df dot index. df dot index attribute 9. Yes, able to understand. Index will show me only my row side, what I see on my axis, right? X and the y, only the x will be shown in index. Is it clear? The pandas attributes, the 9 attributes. Tomorrow we'll have an MCQ. That time let's see how each one of you are answering. Okay. How many attributes we have seen? Can I have the answers on the chat? In pandas, only attributes, how many attributes we have seen? Whatever we learn, we need to keep it thorough. That's what I am emphasizing on. How many attributes in pandas we have seen? At least one is going to answer. Let me see. Six, seven. Okay, I hope you are able to see in my screen, right? You are able to see in my keynote. So D types, columns, axes, n dimensional shapes, values, transpose. Yes, we have seen transpose and addition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Right? Okay. So now moving on to the methods, right? The methods, we have seen head of function. Yesterday we have seen head of function. Then we have seen tail of functions. And then we have seen sample. Third function is sample. Right? Third function we have seen was sampling of. Fourth function we have seen is describe of function. Then whether is null. Then is it duplicated. Is null dot sum of will tell me the total number of according to each column. Okay, there is null value, or if I'm going to drop any. Okay, now let me show you the other different methods available. Okay, the different methods available attributes we have seen. We have seen head of, tail of, describe of, drop any. Like even in describe, you get all these things: min of method, max of method, mean, median, mode, okay, standard deviation. Let's try each one right now. And also, if you want to measure the relative sizes between two tails of the skewness of the data set, we use skew. Combined sizes of two tails, right? Relative sizes, we go for skew. The combined sizes, we go for kurtosis. We go for kurtosis. Let's see the remaining methods now. Okay, df dot min of, in all my columns it will figure out and tell me the minimum value, because minimum value works only for columns which is qualitative or quantitative. Describe of method works for quantitative data or qualitative data. Answers on the chat, please. Describe a function we saw yesterday. It works for quantitative data or qualitative data. See, this one we tried it out for. Quantitative, thank you. Saranam, ma'am, you're from which college? Your designation in the college name. Sharmi ma'am and Saranya ma'am. I want you to share your college name and your designation. And only 3 responses mostly I'm getting. Thank you, Prabhu sir. Okay. Okay. It's null and it works only for quantitative data. So, Kongunadu College. Okay, Kongunadu College. Thank you, Sharmi ma'am. So, as you work for min-of function, you can work for the max of function. All right. So the maximum tip is 50, the minimum is, and also you have what are the other functions I told? Min of function, max of function, the standard deviation, but everything will work only for quantitative data. Okay, but everything you get together in the describe function, mean of function, and also df dot mode of the function, df dot mean median, okay. The standard deviation we have tried already. And then if you want to know the skewness of the data, df dot skew off, and everything will work only for quantitative data, and df dot kurtosis, sorry, kurt. Okay, the tails, the relative sizes, and the combined of the two tails. So I want you all to try df dot minimum, maximum, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, kurtosis, STD. Once you've tried all these functions, let me know. df dot min of, df dot max of, df dot standard deviation, df dot mean, df dot median, df dot mode, df dot skewness of the data, df dot tortoises. Yes, write out all these things. Leave something. Saranya ma'am, you are very fast. There are 72 people. I don't know what others are doing. What are the functions we have seen yesterday? I'm just displaying it. Those have come late also. I want you all to try all these functions. Tail of functions is null of df dot duplicate. We tried is null of dot sum of. We tried yesterday. Then we tried describe a function and sample function we tried, and head and tail with and without values, sample with and without values. Yeah, we tried drop NA also. So these are the different methods. Can you see my screen? Once you have loaded the
Yes, ma'am.
once you have loaded the tips data set, I want you all to try all these methods and then post it onto the chat as done. Waiting for your answers. I don't want anybody to just sit and waste time, but I want you all to work it out. Only from 2 people I've got. 3, 4. From 70, only 4. See, FDP is not only to get your certificates, to enrich your knowledge. That is what like CSI, IST, analysis, most of them are conducting. Certificate is not going to value us, but how much knowledge you're going to gain out of it is that's mandatory. That's the mandate. See, once you get how to see only for one future, I can show to you after a few minutes, Kunda sir. Kunnada sir. I don't know if I'm spelling your name right or wrong. Oh, ma'am, or sir, or Sri Devi, ma'am. I'm sorry for it. And so DF off, then slice it. Yeah, you are ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I'll just show to you. Still, we have got 2 more functions: value counts and drop duplicates. I'm waiting for others. I can just move and keep going. But my objective is those are doing this, you need to try it out and work it out. I repeatedly say certificates are not that important. The knowledge that you capture at the end of the session is more important than the. Yes, others not doing. Okay, if I want only for the size, okay, how many size I can give? Df of size dot min of. Okay, but it will work only for quantitative, not for qualitative. It doesn't work for categorical. It works only for numerical values. Is that answered your question, ma'am? Anita ma'am says she's doing. Df of size dot max of This is for a particular column alone. Try it out. It's completed. The different methods. Okay. There is something also called as value counts, right? DF of gender, right? How many genders, right? Dot value underscore counts. So from my entire data set, it will sum up how many male or how many female. So what would be your inference from this? How many people have visited this hotel? Male or female more? Who paid the bill more? It's because the data set said who paid the bill. So in hotels, the bill is paid by the men. Okay. And if you have got duplicates, df dot drop underscore duplicates in place equal to true. So if there is any duplicates, it drops duplicates. Okay, after that, if I see my data set, it was 255 before. Now if you would say it is 243. Can you see it is 243 now? Before it was, how much it was? I showed you the shape. It was 255, 244 rows. Okay, but after I am dropping my duplicates in place equal to 2, from 244 it became 243, which means one row was a duplicated row. Able to understand? Able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, try for value counts and drop duplicates. You can try the same for any other column also. Like it was next thing was smoker. Huh? Smoker. Yeah, the smoking without smoking people were more in comparison with people who are smoking. So all right. So these are methods that we have seen. What did we see now? df of a column value, any column value. Okay, dot value underscore counts. It counts the number of values, and then df dot drop underscore duplicates if there is any duplicates, and I'm giving in place equal to true. So it also drops duplicates from my entire main data set also. Now I'm going to see df dot n unique of number of unique values in each, and df of one particular column dot unique of. Okay, these are the two things that we are going to see now. All right. So if I'm going to show you df dot n unique of, okay. So total bill number of unique values is 229, tips is 123, gender is only male and female, smoker is maybe yes or no, day that's only 4 days, timing only 2, and size is 6 unique values. Okay, 6 unique values are there. If I want to know, listen carefully, if I want to know number of unique values in one particular column, say for example, df of a dot unique of, not n unique, unique of. So my entire data set has the trips taken between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday alone. All right. And also same thing, I can try for the time. Okay, if I want to know which time the data set has taken. Time, you remember I showed 1995 it was taken of 244 days of a particular nature. Sorry, it's not plus dot. It's only lunch and dinner. That's what it is 2. Can you see the time is 2 and the day is 4, only Saturday, Sunday, Thursday and Friday. So able to understand unique of and n-unique of. Try it out. Once you have tried all these functions, let me know. I'm done. So these are the different methods we have seen. And what are the different attributes that we have seen? Okay, you remember the attributes? We started with df dot shape, df dot size, then df dot columns, then df dot d types, the data types, then df dot axis, then we saw df dot index, only the rows, then df dot n dimension. What are the other things that we have seen? Yes, let me know. df dot size, shape, columns, D types, axis, index, dot transpose we have seen. df dot values, the values inside is data frame, D types, columns, axis, in dimension, size, shape, values. Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8 and 9 attributes and these functions. Able to understand the pandas, attributes and functions, is it clear? Is it clear? 2 more minutes. I want everybody to complete it and then we go on for a break. Those who come late, try for the pandas attribute now.
Recording in progress.
Try it out. And then we go on for a break and again we join by 10:15. This is for people who joined late to try for the attributes. I wish everybody to try for the attributes. Try for the methods now. Okay. We'll go on for a break and join back by 10:15. Is it right, ma'am?
It saw data manipulations with patterns. All of this need another functions. What are the things we are going to see in patterns? So we have data filtering, data filtering, and data. The first data sort. What is pandas? Pandas is an open source data analysis. Pandas is an open source data analysis and data manipulation library in Python. Python is the thing, the package we code we use to hold our data and manipulate data with the data sets in the data sets. The name pandas refers to a panel data, which means a structured data sets. We have two clauses, that is data frame and scene. In data manipulation, we used to see data filtering, data sorting, and data. What are the features of one? We perform group one operations, group of operations like we do data slicing, data missing, data and all those things. And data sets are mutable with Python, with Panda, using pandas in Python. And we can add rows and columns, we can handle data frame. And we can easily detect missing data and merge and grouping data sets is nothing but grouping the data. And indexing and subsetting data is data filtering. What is missing in data in pandas? Missing data in pandas. Missing data can occur when no information is provided for one or more item or a whole unit. Missing data is a very big problem in real life. So, data filtering and data sorting plays a very big role in data sets. So, we want to avoid all those missing data. We use NA values in pandas. So, for that purpose, only we use the data frame. Sometimes many data sets can be arrived with missing data. By using this pandas, in pandas we can separate the missing data and later we have data transforming for data cleaning. Pandas treats none and NaN, that is not a number, as essentially interchangeable for indicating missing or null values. To facilitate this conversation, there are several useful functions of detecting, removing, and deleting. What are the functions? Is nothing but is null, not null, drop NA, fill now, and change. These are the functions we use. As we saw, it's null, not null, and drop null. Now we're going to see interpolate. What is interpolate? In order to check missing values, pandas data frame. In the pandas data frame, we use a function that is null and not null. Both functions help in checking whether a value NaN or not. It's not number. These functions are also can be used in pandas. It is in order to find null values in a system. Checking for missing values is null. We use to check missing value is there or not by using is null. Missing data. First, we drop rows and columns that only have missing values. First, we drop rows and columns. First, we drop. If you want, what are the rows with the missing data we want to fetch numbers? We fetch with the rows and columns. Like for that, we use the drop now function. can be used as request. We just need to change value how the parameter we want. What are the parameters we want in the data? And form rows and columns based on the threshold value. What is threshold value? Dropping based on any or all is not always the best option. Any or all is not the best option. So we sometimes we need to drop rows and columns with lot of or some missing values. Third one is voice. The threshold is the fourth one. Now we will see the second one. Draw based on a particular subset of the columns. So by using this function, df dot, for example, df dot dropna subset measure underscore 2 and measure underscore 3. These are the parameters. Some of the columns into a consideration using dropping column we use. We can drop the rows that will have the missing value in measure 1 and 2 by using this. If you want, you can try. And the third one, drop based on the content. Fill with the constant value. This is a fill now, it's a data. These are the one statements, steps to get to fetch the missing values in a data set. A more reasonable method to determine separate constant values for different columns. We tried this in dictionaries. So to fetch the values of what are values of the statement, we use this. And the fourth one is drop rows and columns based on a threshold value. Nothing but dropping based on any or all is not always the best option. We sometimes need to drop rows and columns with lots of or some missing values. We can't assign, right? We can't assign such expressions to our parameter, but others gives us a more accurate way with the thresh parameter. Nothing but thresh parameter to sort the value, to fetch the missing data with the threshold values. For instance, you can use instead of that drop now values in place of that, you can use thresh. Means that the rows that have at least 4 non-missing values will be kept. In a data set, there will be a missing value. We need to fetch. If a data set has 6 columns, so the rows that have 3 or more missing values will be dropped. What are the missing values will be dropped? So we use df dot drop now thresh function within curve braces. Thresh is 20. This is a function we use to fetch the data where the missing values are located by using thresh value. And next one is data sorting. Data sorting, we have various methods. Getting started with pandas sort methods. These are the sort methods. First, we prepare the data sets and we get the getting familiar with sort values. According to what are the values we want, and the third one is preparing the sort index. what are the things the data want to be sorted within index values. And sorting your data frame on a single column. How do you do? Sorting by a column in ascending order. To use sort values, you pass a single argument to a method containing the name of the column you want to sort. Sorting with multiple columns. Sorting with multiple columns in ascending order. For example, we can give df, the parameters passed, and what are the values we want to get, and within square braces, comma, ascend is equal to 4. Now, you will get the ascending order. Or if you give ascending order, it will give the form. Change in the column sorter. We can change the order of the columns in a data set by using this data sorting. Sorting by multiple columns in descending order. As I said for the first one, ascend by passing a given statement df with the parameters and with the square braces, comma, ascend is equal to 2 number, the data sets will be in ascending order. Descending order, if it falls, the minimum values will be at the top and the maximum value at the bottom. Sorting by multiple columns with different sort orders. Sorting our data frame on this index. That is nothing but in ascending order and descending order. Exploring advanced index sorting concept. Now I'm going to say advanced index sorting concept. There are many cases in data analysis where we want to sort and hierarchical. So we are already we use make and model in a multi-index. Taking an ID column as index could be helpful in linking the related database. For example, EPA emissions datasets is also use ID to represent vehicle record items, and they link the fuel economy data. That in this purpose we use merge function. To learn more about combining data with pandas, we should be thorough with combining data in pandas with merge, join, and concatenate, and sorting the columns of data frame. First, the sorting the data by name. We use the statement to sort by and sorting the columns of your database. It's nothing but access labels. When we use sort index function without passing any explicit arguments, it uses the access value will be taken as 0 and the default argument. The access of a data frame refers to the either index axis of is equal to 0. The columns is equal to axis of 1. It takes the very first step. And the next thing is indexing and selecting data in the data frame as well as the sorting. Using a column label to sort. The next one is we use labels to sort. And changing the position of null values. In data sorting, we can fetch what are the data, more data we want. So we does this data. So we by using this null values to changing the position of null values, we can fetch the benchmark data. Working with missing data when sorting in pandas. Working with missing is now unaudible. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are now audible, but the sound is coming very mild, but still we can listen. Working with missing data when sorting in pandas. How to work with missing data while sorting the data in pandas. In real world data, we have many imperfections. That is, the data sets we have missing data and all those. So the case, how to sort is nothing but call it as NA position, NA underscore position. That parameter is passed when data sorting is handled with missing data. Understanding the NA underscore position parameter and sort values. Accepts a parameter named NA underscore position. It's nothing but which helps to organize missing data in a column when you're sorting. I'm audible. If we sort a column with missing data, then the rows with the missing values will appear at the end of the data frame. This happens regardless where we are sorting and ascending and descending. This is what I said for the first one. Why you change when ascend is equal to true, when you give ascend is ascending is equal to true, it gives the ascending values at the top. When you give the ascending values as false, it gives the maximum values at the top of the data sets. It will be fetched. We use sort index function. Sort index function. In this case, we won't have like any n values, not in upper values in the parameter. So this parameter is less useful in sort index function. But it is good to know that the data frame. sort methods to modify our data. There are some of these sort methods to modify our data. Sort underscore values count. This function is used to modify original data frame so that the sort methods return none. Sort your data frame by using the values of the particular parameter what you want in the column to the place to set to be true. We can sort the values. And the next one is sort the values by the index. Since the index was created in ascending order, when you see, when you read your data frame with the data sets, you can modify the real objects. What are the objects you want with the initial order. By using this index value, we use this for data frame. Sort a partner data frame by using the values of one or more columns using ascending parameter which needs sort order. And the next one is sort a data frame by using index using by this sort index function and organize the missing data while sorting. Sort then what will sort a data frame in place using in place set to true. What are the things you want to sort? You will sort it out. Next one is data filter. What is data filter? We do in data filtering. We split the data. What are the data we want into two data sets? The main function in data filtering we use split function. Data filtering is one of the most frequent data migration operations where clause and SQL based on some conditions. Python has an efficient way to perform filtering and analysis. Why we study data filtering in pandas? It is an excellent package called we use for data filtering for data value. That is could be perform different tasks. It is one of the most initial step of data preparation for predictive modeling and any reporting of it. It is also called subsetting data. When performing data filtering, there's another name we call as subsetting data. After the data filtering process, we call the data set as subsetting data. There are some more examples and data filtering. For example, we take bank data sets of bank regarding select all the active customers. Those accounts are open. we particularly open search for the accounts, right? For the previous year and for the last year. And later we fetch and extract the customers for first the first three transactions of every month, every 6 months, and fetch the information of employees who spend more than 3 years in an organization, like that amount. We filter. And later we extract dollars of metro cities according to their income. There are certain methods for data filtering. First, method one is data framing. These are the parameters that we use. What are the data sets? It is given in mind. You can try this. The very first thing is you will create a data frame and you will join the two data frames, the two data sets. That is nothing but new DF is equal to DF. It's a whole one data sets, and you will fetch all those. And within that two data frames, you will get a third one, and who does all those filtering methods. Query function. In pandas practice, there are multiple ways to perform filtering. And this method is elegant and more readable. We no need to mention any data frame. Name every time when you specify the columns variables. Okay. And log function. In data filtering, we use log function to log the data. What to fetch the data sets with their location. All these three methods return the same output. It is just a different way of filtering the rows. Because I am giving the data sets of the rows, particular rows. Data filtering, we first remove details, remove headings, and the Boolean vectors. For example, fetching the details of males, female, or male stars, whether it's true or false. Right. And complex filtering criteria. In data filtering, we have complex filtering criteria. It's nothing but how Boolean vectors can be created by combining the conditions and or. Then each condition must be in the parentheses. For example, I'm taking the data sets of bank. The bank gender is equal to female, and we are combining the job grade of the female staffs, and it gives and equals 1 it gives true or false when the length and 200 and 2. And the type what it the data sets is, and filtering by the list. We pass a list and we check what are the job grade we have, and we both combine the data sets. We combine the data columns with a female employee and with the job grade, and later we fetch the data, filter the data who are female staffs are in which job grade.
Recording stopped.
The next one is data filtering. What's data? It is used to group and summarize records according to the split apply combine strategy. Grouping records by columns is a common method for data analysis. Such scenarios include counting employees in each department of company, that is job grade, according to the grades, customer support according to that factor. We calculate the average salary of male and female employees, respectively, in each department, and we group the data. The first one is grouping and aggregation by a single key. First, we fetch the department. We use this code to fetch the department. How many staffs are there in each department? And the next one is grouping an application by multiple fields. Employee is equal. Now we are fetching department and the gender and what are the salary they get. These one things will add one columns in by doing a data grouping. Then you will get a complete data set what you want. And handling grouping subsets. The code used for handling grouping data subsets. Now you can try this code on Polar.
Hope you have understood the grouping, aggregation, sorting, and filtering concepts in the data. Right now, we'll have the hands-on session, right? Able to see in my screen? Are you able to see in my screen? So yeah, given. So we have seen the theory part of it, of how do you sort. Okay, pandas we have been seeing, morning session we saw the methods and what do I say, the attributes. Hope every one of you tried it out, right? And coming into see inside pandas there are so much and so more, and we are just figuring it out in relevance to your syllabus. This is the syllabus of the subject. So we have seen yesterday the need for data science, with the physics, setting the goals, how to integrate, how do you translate EDA. And today morning session, you remember PCR board, describing the data, median, mode for quantitative data, and the descriptive analytics. And then now we are seeing data manipulations with pandas. All right. And afternoon session on to a few data, and then tomorrow we'll see about data visualization. All right. This entire FDP is in relevant to this course, fundamentals of data sciences, right?
Recording in progress.
And here we have been seeing each column is a series, and also we know how to handle missing data. Like I showed you in the morning and even the previous session. And yesterday you remember, um, we worked out with how do you join a data frame with index, and how do you merge with a common column name, and then we didn't try for
Recording
concat.
stopped.
we didn't have a concatenate. So let's try. So I'm
Recording in progress.
we are creating a data frame, a column name A, all right, and then A0, A1, A2, A3 on display. This is print. Creating, oh my god, printing two data frames and pd.concat of concat. See, the first data frame is A0, B0, A1, B1, and next is C0, D0 to C3, and concatenate, comma, axis is equal to 1. So, it will, whenever the axis is equal to 1, it specifies adding with columns, concatenating it with columns. Alright. So, I want you all to try. I'm creating, we have only imported pandas as PD, right? PD dot data frame A is the column name, right? And the values inside, I'm giving it as a list, all right? A0, A1, A2, A3, and another column. So, I'm printing my data frame first, data frame, and then I'm moving on to the second data frame, then concat, PD dot concat of open parenthesis, close parenthesis, within the square bracket, give df1, comma df2, and then axis is equal to 1. You can have it in the same line also. No problem. I want you all to try this now. Concatenating. Yesterday we have tried merge and join. I hope you all have tried it out. That was in the final session yesterday. Now I want you to create data frame and try concatenate. Once you have tried the concatenated, see pd.data frame, open and close parenthesis. Then I'm having it as a dictionary. The key, the values is this. The key, the values is this. And I'm printing the two data frames and df comma pd.concat df1 comma df2 comma axis is equal to 1. Let's try now. Y-axis is equal to 1. When I give axis is equal to 1, all right, when I give axis is equal to 1, it specifies I'm adding according to columns. Okay, now let me show you this. Whenever axis is equal to 1, it is columns. Can you see if I'm not giving axis is equal to 1? Default is axis is equal to 0. It can concatenate the first set of rows and the second set of rows. If I'm giving default values, axis is equal to 0. Alright, when I give axis is equal to 1, then I will be concatenating with columns. This is with axis is equal to 1. This is without axis is equal to 1. The default is axis is equal to 0, which specifies it is row wise concatenation. If I want a column wise concatenation, I have to give axis is equal to 1. I hope it's clear, ma'am. Read through, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. I want you all to try. Any doubts, let me know, please. I want everybody to try. Once you have tried, post it onto the chat as done. Try with and without axis. Waiting for everybody to try. Any doubts? Let me ask. Kindly ask. How many of you are trying? Type D on the chat. If you are trying, Saradia ma'am says trying, Ritu ma'am. Only 2 are trying out of 67. Yeah, 2 more. Once you've completed, yeah, Saranya ma'am has given them. And she's the most active, Saranya ma'am. What about others? Nanita ma'am completed done. Dinesh Kumar sir done. Okay. 3 have done out of 68. What about others? Other 60 plus? Okay, have you all tried with axis and without axis? Able to find the difference? Why do we give axis is equal to 1? Concatenating column wise. If I'm not default, it will be row wise, then you can see the order of NANs. What is NAN? The previous session we discussed what is NAN. Can any one of you say the full form of NAN? NAN, not a number. Yes, well said. You're all keen listeners. Okay. Now, moving on into how do you be able to sort or group by, right? We'll start with group by functions and then we move eventually to this. So, in the first session, we were working with um, the tips data sets, right? The hotel tips data set. So df dot, I'm using this function group by, right? Group by what I'm going to group. I'm going to group by smokers. Okay, smoker is one column. Dot, I have another column name like tips off, right? df dot head off. You can find it out. Okay, we have brought it up. So we have, I'm going to group by the smokers and by the tips mean of. What does the mean do? You know, it takes the average. So I'm going to say how many yes, I'm going to group yes and no, and the tips of mean of. I'm going to take the mean of the tips whom smokers were yes and whom smokers were no. So what could I get an inference from this when I see this result? Can any one of you post the answers on the chat? What could be the inference when I group by smokers and taking an average of the tips given by them to the waiters? You can also feel free to unmute and speak. What could be the inference? The people who are smoking, who came to the hotel, had given slightly higher tips in comparison with people who don't smoke, right? The same thing, I'm going to group by gender, male and female. So, can I want anyone? Can you give an inference from this? I'm grouping by gender and taking the mean of the tips value. So, what does it mean? Because in data analysis, the inference that you draw is more important than how much you work. That's what I'm asking you this question. Let me hear from you. Can you see the response of the second group by? What could be the inference? What could be the inference? You're all there? Yes, no? Maybe little more louder, ma'am. Newton Kumari, ma'am.
Males are giving more tips than females.
Ah, male are giving more tips. Male are giving more tips to the waiters than the female. So like that, you can write your inference, because when you write do something on research or when you want for paper publication, this inference. Okay. So can you try the group by function? And also try one of your own choice. You can group by maybe day and the tips. Or you can also try df dot group by, then by equal to total underscore tips, but it's case sensitive, so total underscore bill, comma, I'm going to group by the day, which day they're coming into it, and I'm going to see the average of total underscore bill dot mean of.
Recording stopped.
So when you see this, which day the bill had got highest value? When do you get more number of customers in comparison with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Yes, Sunday. Generally, weekends we go for hotels. How many of you go to hotels regularly on weekends? Do you go to hotels? on weekend. Yes. No. Ritu ma'am says yes. Other says no. Yes, the ma'am says no. Okay. Only three responses. Others, you neither go to hotel or you don't go. Nowadays, we don't go to hotel. We get everything in Swiggy, Zomato, so many things. I've done so much and so more. No, not at all due to Corona. Corona is there, Corona not there. But still, there is a huge demand in hotels. Nice to hear. Okay, can you all try group by functions for the tips data set? Just I'm giving you some examples you can try on your own too. So this is what you should have told the splitting, applying, and combining results. Remember, this is the strategy. I don't know which line number is group by. Yeah, data grouping, right? It is used to group and summarize. You remember this? Split, apply, and combine strategies, right? So this is what it does. This is the strategy. So she has given examples like group by department and department account of value counts. We have seen that. And the salary of me, you have taken tips.me. Okay. So this is the strategy. You're splitting it and you're applying a function and combining the data. Splitting the data set, applying a function and combining it. That is what is group by. I hope you are all trying. Once done, let me know. I've got two responses, Saranya ma'am, and so this is how we would be working with group by function, right? Group by function. Any doubts in group by? Any doubts in group by? Yes, no? Kindly give a response. Group by, do you have doubts or you don't have doubts? You split the object, apply a function and combine it back. Also I've got df dot group by. So for example, if you want to group by day dot can you see it will group by only the quantitative values it will take. Group by only the day. Here I've given day only the total bill of meal. Generally, if I'm going to give mean, all right, it will take only the quantitative values, and so you can see the tips. Everything is higher on Sunday. Everything is higher on the people who come to hotel is also higher. The average the tip is also higher, and the total bill is also higher. Okay, even like this you can group. Try it out. All right. DF dot group by any. I'm taking my day. I'm trying my me. Okay. Able to understand group by? How many of you are listening? How many of you are able to understand group by? Type yes. How many of you are not listening? Type no. Yes, Rita ma'am says yes. I get the quick response. Yeah, Ajita ma'am, yes. Only 3 out of 68. Some of them only the system is present, but they are not present. Yeah, Manya ma'am. Getting response for the first. LL Diana ma'am, yeah. Arul Kumar ma'am, Esther Hannah ma'am. Yeah, right. So next I'm going to go into in the slide she spoke about LOC and ILOC. Yes, that is how you split your data, right? How you split in your data. Which slide number? It's on the slide number. Okay. The location, okay, if you want to slice, okay, slicing of the data, right? Slicing of the data. How do you slice your data and want to take only needed data sets? So if I'm ILOC, okay, ILOC, it selects rows and columns at specific integer positions. At specific. Listen carefully. the values df, the data frame dot ilog. Okay, this value before my comma represents the row, and after my comma it represents the columns. Okay, this is row R comma C. Okay, so I'm going to take I'm not going to take the 0th row, only the first, second, and third row, not the fourth row, between 1 and 4, and columns between 2 and 5. Okay, say for example, if I'm going need to take rows from 2 to 10, 2 to 10, and columns from 3 to 6, you could find it out. So the same only I'm going to slice and take. Can you see from 2 to 10? So it will be 2 to 9 and the other columns. The values before the comma represents the rows and after the comma represents the columns. ILOC. Okay, ILOC. Okay, you can keep changing different values. If I want to have between 100 to 120 also is possible. What values I need to slice it off. Able to understand ILOG? Selects rows and columns at specific integer positions. So I have to give the integer positions here. The values before my comma here is representing my rows, and after my comma represents my columns. See, if I am going to give everything, only colon, I get my entire data set. I'll get my entire data set. I want to have like 1 to 4, then 1, 2, and 3 will be there. Not from the total bill, from the next value. Able to understand ILOC? Integer location. Able to understand yes or no? Before you try, did you understand this concept? Slicing. This is the concept of data slicing with the integer position. Okay. Always I get response from B2 ma'am and Saranya ma'am. Well done. Try it out fast. You can keep changing the values and write out. The more you try, it will be like YouTube recipes. It will look good. Okay, but only when we try, we know whether we are going to really get an output or not. All the recipes you see in the YouTube, does it turn to be the same when you try, or is it different? When you see things in YouTube, it looks so beautiful. But really, when we try, you are getting the same output, or it is little different. Same or different? Yes or B on the chat. You see the recipes of they make on YouTube, and when you try it at home, is it the same? It's different, right? Same thing, by looking it will look easy, but when you try it out, be able to learn more. Thank you, yes, ma'am. I want you all to try this quick now. Only 10%, only 10% gives me an effective response. Once you tried it out, give it as done on the chat. Yes, thank you, Sarne ma'am. Waiting response from others.
Recording in progress.
Only two responses I'm getting out of 66. What about others? Thank you, Chitra Devi ma'am. What about others? Thank you, Ajita ma'am. I'm just waiting for everyone to complete it. Okay. Now we move on to okay, location. In location, what is the difference? It is in location. So I have to give my header. In LOC, okay, there's like rows, columns with specific labels, like you have done a grouping, right? There you are grouping it. Now, when I want to filter it out, that is grouping. This is filtering of data with specific label names. Okay. So here I'm going to filter it like def.log, def is equal to mail, and date of day equal to Friday. So I'll get only my data which is on Friday and the gender is male. Able to understand? LOC. Okay, with the labels there before we had with integer, I can give a condition which is equal to this, and I'm just using an AND operator, or only male also you can give and close it. Try it out for LOC. Yes, please. And try it out with the different conditions also. Try it out with different conditions also. Different labels. I hope you're all trying it. Hope you're trying LOC. Okay. Okay. But not showing. May and the day is Friday and the tip is why it is not working. Can you tell me? Like Ritu ma'am tried one, but it is not showing an answer. Can anyone of you tell what could be? I just run it and show. Tried very good ma'am. We are trying it out. Okay. And this is what Ritu ma'am tried. Okay. And it is not giving results. The reason behind, can any one of you say why there is no results? Can any one of you say why there is no results for this? So many failures. There's no and tip is equal to 3. Is integer value or a string? It is a string. Sorry, it is an integer. So she has given within quotes. Now I have removed the quotes. Can you see the answer, Peter ma'am? Only for strings you should give in strings. And that's okay. That's okay. Now you could see the answer. Okay, the tips you have given within strings. It is not a string. It is a quantitative. So it is an integer of flow. Those quotes when you get. Right out. Very good. I need participants like Ritam. I'm trying something different and asking doubts. And I've repeatedly telling it is not only for certificates that we come. You can get certificates. But more importantly, how much knowledge you gain through the end of this FDP is more important. That's what we are not only taking theory, we are combining theory with practical and we are giving so much of time for you to work it out. Okay. I mean, if you try anything different, post onto the chat on LOC. Yes, you got it. Thank you. On LOC, ILOC, group by, completed grouping by, and filtering out the data. Next, we are moving into sorting. I want others also to respond. Why there is no good response from others? Yesterday was little better, but today Ritu ma'am and Saranya ma'am, and sometimes I'm getting from others. How many of you have tried LOC and ILOC answers on chat? Quick, please. Otherwise, we have to give a mark based. Yeah, thank you, Anita ma'am. Mark certificates. So we MCQ questions and get your answers. On loan certificate will be given with your. Okay. What about others? Serena ma'am. Done. Okay. So next we are moving on to the sorting. You remember she told you about sorting values. Sort values. Sort underscore values by tips. Okay, by tips and give. Okay. So when you so that is minimum is $1 and maximum is $10. So I'm getting 244 rows and 7 columns. All of them sorted according to tips. Okay, and if I want to try with 2 columns to be sorted, okay, so sort by tips and date. So ascending is equal to false, ascending is equal to false, ascending is equal to false. It will not be in ascending order, it will be in ascending order. The highest tip will be on to the top, and it is with the days. Here you can see Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Saturday. Here I'm even sorry. Here I'm sorting it even according to the days. Okay, but it is in the descending except when ascending is equal to false, default ascending is equal to so Saturday, and then it comes according. The tips value is sorted and then according with the days. The tips value and then the days. Can you see here? First, try this. First, try sort underscore values. And done. Thank you. Now try for sort values. Three o'clock. You speak to him. What is the course he needs, and then I will finish it. What's your doubt, Anita, ma'am? You can unmute and ask. Got the result, no doubts. Very good. Others, only few are active. Done. Thank you, Rita, ma'am. What about others? Sorry, only three. What about others? And also, if you have got doubts, let me know. Okay, sort values with ascending faults. I hope you tried with ascending faults. Yes. You could see here df dot sort underscore index of. So sorting according to index. Okay, same thing. And also same thing, I could have df dot sort underscore index ascending. Oops, spelling ascending equal to fonts. So whenever you see keywords, right, you will see it like with a blue color on column. Now it's an index, but not reverse, right? From 243 to 0. Before I had 0 to 243 according to the index. Right? This is what you write out. Sort underscore index. So far, Saranya, ma'am. How many of you are listening or how many of you are working this session? Type W onto the chat. If not working, if not, type N. I know, Saranya ma'am, you are all working. Only people who are just listening. Why Tushar sir? Not working. Okay. Working, Ritu ma'am, Aishwarya ma'am working, very good. What about others? Yeah, Anita ma'am. Yes. So in the afternoon session, we'll start with NumPy array, right? NumPy array. So what concepts we have seen on day one? Remember, first day yesterday, what did we see? Can one of you say what did we see on 4th? Yesterday we started with the introduction. Can post onto the chat. Yeah, introduction to data science. Then I hope my screen is seen to you. Then we saw the 8 steps. You remember the first session I started with the 8 steps. The 8 steps, how do you find it out? And then we worked it out with how do you work with how do you fetch your data sets, right? How do you fetch data sets? The second, we work, I don't know why it's too slow. Working with data set, and then I'm so in working with data sets, how do we have taken with Seaborn data set, and also we show you how to work with CSV, right? And then we started working with pandas yesterday. What are things we worked with pandas yesterday or no? We work with head of function, tail of function, describe. I remember describe, and yeah, in methods we had size, shape, then I think, and these also, and also we had columns that comes in attributes. Then what and all we saw yesterday? How also to work with cleaning of data, right? Data cleaning, drop NA, finding out null values. Okay, so where we had dropping null values, and then finding missing numbers. Yes, and also I gave you an introduction about AI, ML, and DL. You remember? Yes. Introduction with examples to AI, ML, and DL. And is there anything extra that we saw? Did I leave anything? Just a recap. Generally, I do it in every session. And what did we see in the morning session? Did I leave anything? And today it is. We started with. Today, what did we start with?
Started with content.
We started with pandas, the remaining. We started with pandas. The remaining methods, like 10 to 12 methods, and the attributes. And you remember yesterday we saw about this also, join and merge function. Forgot.
Yes, ma'am. In the morning session, you had started with contact function.
No. Yesterday last session.
Yes, ma'am.
And yesterday in last session. No, yesterday last session, merge of function and
Cleansing data.
join function. We tried. And today, what are the other things If you could just type it onto the chat, it would be more easier for me. I should start with methods and attributes. And then data filtering with the lock, then data grouping. Yeah, data grouping. You remember split, apply, and combine technology, strategy, and then, yeah, sorting. Then we work with data, sorting of data with ascending. Uh, Data sorting with sort underscore values and sort underscore index. Right? Did I leave anything? Did I leave anything you needed? Sorting, querying, and filtering, and all the technologies that are said. You will understand whatever we have seen. Afternoon, we'll start with NumPy. Okay, we'll start with NumPy. Any doubts now? Any doubts? Okay. Over to the organizers. We'll again meet up by 1 o'clock. Thank
Good answer.